All right, let's see. We live now on YouTube. Let me hit the hydraulics on y'all really quick. All right. We back. We back. We back. We are back. As you can tell, I was never in the band. I was never in the band, y'all. I was never in the band. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Future P. We're back again this week for another premiere. Actually, not even another premiere, the finale of this series titled Spiritual Landlord. Spiritual Landlord, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about this series has been phenomenal. Make sure that you do share this video, get this video out to your friends, to your family, because you do not want to miss the season finale. I'm gonna try not to go so extra, right? Like I always do. I'm trying to go so extra long, but let me do something a little bit different so I can go ahead and make sure that my phone doesn't die. There we go. We live. We plugged in. So you're watching this video, share this video. We're streaming live on YouTube as well. We're streaming live on Facebook. Instagram is coming soon. So this series has been super duper phenomenal. Y'all pray for me. I'm dealing with a freaking toothache right now as we speak. But this series has been super phenomenal. It has literally changed my whole perspective. A lot of things have come from this season that was really good. A lot of things. I feel like God has really changed some things around, even when it comes to my family. Like a lot of things have shifted over these past couple of weeks, and I'm just super grateful for what God is doing because you guys have no idea on how great how great the Holy Spirit can really move in your life when you invite Him in. Right, you have to invite Him in your life in order for changes to really take place. And I'm saying this because once I talk about this topic today, you're going to really understand why I'm going this direction so early because there has literally been a lot of changes that has already taken place in a lot of your lives, but the light hasn't been turned on correctly. And because the light haven't been turned on correctly, a lot of you have missed it dearly. So what I want to talk to y'all about today is the season finale. And the reason being is because there have been some things that have taken place, right? There have been some things that have taken place in this series. So going back to my notes here, number one, right? The first part one of Spiritual Landlord, right? It was talking about whom is he? We're talking about who is God in your life in reference to where you were moving and where you were going. And let me tell you something. All right, for those of you that are watching, we're streaming live. You do not have to be perfect to have God in your life as your spiritual landlord. You do not have to be perfect. And I say all that because I feel like when it comes to building a relationship with God, right? Building that relationship, not your religion, not your ideology, but your relationship with God, it pushes things around in your life quick. There are a lot of shifting that goes on. A lot of things happen so quickly and so fast. And because of that, people around you will start shifting. And I know that's kind of hard for a lot of people to receive. It's hard for people to understand because when you get shifted, guess what happens when you get shifted? Things around you start to shift. So I'm gonna say this prayer and we're gonna go ahead and get started. So Heavenly Father, if you're here right now, like I know you are, let your spirit come down and change our lives day by day. Lord, let this moment be a factor for the greatness, the goodness, and the love that you have shared for us all. God, be in our hearts, be in our minds, our bodies, our souls, and our spirit. Lord, use me as your instrument. This is not about me. This is about your people. For every person that ever come in contact with this video, whether it be today, tomorrow, in the next year, in the next 20 to 30 years, whoever comes in contact with this video, let their hearts and their decisions change on account of what you have said through me. I thank you in advance. In your son Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. So let's get started. So let's talk about this really quick, y'all. The spiritual landlord. The first one was whom is he? All right, I switched it up on the second one, right? Where I talked about having the address change. I did it live when I was driving. It's a little bit different. But now I want to talk to y'all about location, 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 location. I hope y'all ready. Gotta lay this paper out for you. So location, location, location. You need to be ready because your location is a peer reflection of three things. Here we go. Your place in life, your position in life, and your situation in life. It's based on those three factors: your place in life, your position in life, and your situation in life. Again, I'm going to say it again. Your location is based upon your place in life, your position in life, and your situation in life. This time, when we're talking about it tonight, this time, this is all about you. This is not about God. This is not about your spiritual parents. This is not about your church. This isn't about anyone but you and what you are supposed to do. I think a lot of times we hear things, these sermons, they sound very motivational, they sound very inspiring, but once it's over with, people still do not know what to do. They don't know what to do, they don't know how to do it, and they don't know where to start sometimes. And more importantly, they don't even know where to even go. Well, tonight, my whole goal is to give you some practical points so that you know exactly what to do and where to go. So if you're watching this video, if you come on late, please share this video. Someone needs to hear this. So get this. Let's talk about the first thing. So when I look up the definition of location, I looked up the definition of location. If you look at everything in the Bible, if you look at from the past times, from the Old Testament to the New Testament, you got to realize how a lot of things happen in certain locations, how things happen in Egypt, how things happen in Capernaum, right? By the river, by the lake, how things happen at Mount Calvary, how things happen in Mount Sinai, how things how things happen in Jerusalem, right? A lot of these places were locations. They were all locations, and every single location, the Garden of Gethsemane, the Garden of Eden, right? These things, the Sermon on the Mount, right? Where the Beatitudes were delivered. Like a lot of these places is where events have taken place, right? Think about Paul on the road to Damascus. That was a location. Like there were different locations for every situation. For a blessing to happen, it happened at the right location. Or should I say the first part of the word location we're going to talk about, the definition, is place, right? So everything happened at the right place. So let's talk about you for a moment. What place do you hold right now, or do you want to hold in your life? What place do you hold, or do you want to hold in your life? A lot of us right now, we can't move forward so much because we're just not in the right place. We're not in the right place. What place are you in right now mentally? How is your mental health on a scale of 1 to 10 daily? What place do you hold mentally right now? Right? What place are you emotionally right now? Do your emotions take your physical actions to a place that you know psychologically and even consciously that you wouldn't even do? But your emotions take it. Do your emotions take your anger through the roof? Does your emotions take you to a level of rage that's not even in you? Does your emotions make you make decisions that hurt people as well as yourself? Do your emotions do the place that you're in your emotions make you selfish to where you don't care about no one but yourself? Do your emotions make you want to harm yourself? Your emotions, your place, where you are placed right now is very vital to your current state and to your future. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for us to stop. We got to start taking accountability for what we are doing. We got to stop blaming the devil for everything. It's not him. It's not your parents. It's not your ancestors. It is you at this point. I had this conversation a couple of weeks ago, and I said to myself, listen, aren't you tired? Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired right now? Ladies and gentlemen, let me give y'all some a different perspective on finances and just life, period. Don't you know that when you only have a job, and there's nothing wrong with that, you're living paycheck to paycheck? Not saying that you don't make enough money to save. I'm not talking about that because you can do that. But I want you to think about the place that you're in right now. You only make enough right now to save money and live your life accordingly or comfortably, right? Here's how I know, because when we go on vacation, we get a different feeling when we on vacation. Why? Because that's the only time we really ever experience freedom other than Friday and Saturday or the 2 maybe 3 days that we're off depending on what we're doing. Have you ever thought about for 1 second that the life that you have right now, when you just work your job and do just what you do right now, have you ever thought for 1 second that you can have more? You probably never thought that you can have more. But when you have only a job, ladies and gentlemen, you live paycheck to paycheck. So guess what? Your place in your life is only subject to what you're getting paid. Because if that's the case, you would literally get a Rolls Royce. You would get an exotic vehicle. You wouldn't live in the house that you live in or the apartment that you live in. You're living there because your job says that you can't live nowhere else based on what you can afford. And let me ask you this: is that really fair to you? How is that on your mental, knowing that you want more, you expect more? There's something in you every single day. You have dreams, you have visions of doing all these great things. Some of you talk to yourselves about, yo, when I get here in life, I'm gonna do this. But you know the place that you're working at won't even allow you to even experience it. Only on PTO. Only on PTO. So you're meaning to tell me right now that you think that this is the way that you're supposed to live for the rest of your life? How is that even helping your mental state when you're sitting there and you knowing you don't want to clock in, you knowing you don't want to be there, but you do it, and then you got so frustrated, right? Until you, you just stayed there and you say, you know what? Nothing ain't happened yet. I've been praying. I don't know if God is real. I don't know if this Jesus thing gonna work out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just stay here. This must be where I'm supposed to be. I'm gonna just kick it right here and stay right here because this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm not supposed to have nothing more, nothing less. Because if I would have had more by now, it would have changed. Sound familiar? These are the type of conversations that we have with ourselves all of the time. But we're sitting here trying to figure out, why can't I move? Here's the thing: you're not in the right place. What place do you hold right with your faith? Is your faith conditional or is it unconditional? Is your faith based on the results that you see with your eyes, or is your faith based on the results of your belief? Where is it? Right? Is your faith placed on on what people see about you, or what people think, or what social media do? Where's your place in life? How are you placed? How are you located on your map, your journey of life? If we take a snapshot of the map that you have that's attached to your last name, your first and your last name, how many places have you traveled to and you did it in a way to where it wasn't stressful? And I'm not talking about a physical travel. I'm talking about a mental travel. I'm talking about a spiritual travel. I'm talking about an emotional travel. How many places and locations have you been to in the past 3 to 6 months mentally? And you know for a fact, when you get there, your life is going to change forever. But also, you also got frustrated because you really don't think it's possible. You really don't think you can really do it because everything around you, your job, your paycheck. How frustrating is it to know that all the hours you put up with, and it's not even your company, all the frustration you put up with, all of the lives that you change in whatever field you're in, if you're an essential worker, if you work in the medical field, all of the patients you got to deal with, all of the sicknesses you got to see in the ER. What about real estate? You work in property management. I did it for 2 years. You're working as a leasing agent or a leasing consultant, and people coming to you with the most horrible stories ever. They got put out, they got kicked out, they're homeless, they're living in a motel or a hotel, and you got to sit there and try to find them a place to live in the next week and a half or 2 weeks. You've done all of that. You've taken all of the stress. What about you individuals that work commission jobs? You're in sales right now. You work for a retail, you work in a retail location, you sell shoes, you sell services for a telecommunications company, you do a whole bunch of different things, and you're literally stressing out because you got to hit the quota, or you may get rolled up, or you may get your or you may not get your bonus, or you won't hit that OTE. You're doing all of that. And when you get your paycheck, We're not talking about taxes, because let me drop the bomb on a lot of you. Stop talking about the money that you make and it's gross. You don't live off of gross. You live off of net. You live off of what comes after taxes. How do you feel knowing that the moment when that direct deposit hit, at least 50 to 60% of it is already spent and gone, and you got to live off payment arrangements? Are you serious? You mean to tell me right now that you're in the right mental space knowing that all of that hard work you put in, you only put it in for it to be taken away from you? You look at it in your bank account knowing that, dang, that's that's some good money right there, but in the next 5 hours, my rent about to come out. Not saying that you're not grateful, because you could not have a rent to pay or a mortgage to pay. But you know in the back of your mind, there's more for you, right? You know in the back of your mind, there's more for you and your children, right? Or your child. You know in the back of your mind, there's more for you as an adult. But for some reason, you can't get past that hump. You're sitting there knowing that you can get more, but because your situation hasn't changed, which we're going to talk about that in a few minutes, you're sitting there and you're dealing with the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results. I want you to take accountability right now, because here's the thing I want to tell you. Are you in the right place with your landlord? Are you in the right place with God daily? Just because you believe in God and you have faith in God doesn't mean that your actions align all the time. And I'm guilty of it. I'm not talking about nobody else but myself. I'm guilty of that. You can have the right, you can have faith in God, you can read your Bible, you can go to church every Sunday, you can do all of that and not experience the proper relationship with Christ, how you're supposed to experience it every single day. See, people ain't gonna talk to you and give it to you real like I'm gonna give it to you, but I'm gonna give it to you real. You can have all of that and still be depressed, and still be suicidal, and still have emotional traumas, and still living in your past. None of your relationships work. You can't date anyone consistent, because every time you date somebody, nothing works. You've been divorced 3, 4 times. Your children giving you hell. Your finances never works out. Every time you try to save money, all hell, here come the car issues. You get your car fixed. Now, oh, here come your children. Now your children are whole. Now, here come the house. You got house issues. Now, here comes health. You got health issues. And you doing everything right. You praying, you're fasting, you going to church, you talk, but for some reason, here's what happens. The life that you live when the lights are off is not matching with the life that you praying that you should have daily. That's the challenge. That's the hard part, to live the right way when the lights are off and nobody can see you. It's just you and God. It's just you and God. This is the struggle with a lot of relationships. Here's why a lot of relationships do not last, because everybody wants to post the Sierra and Russell Wilson situation, but nobody want to post the Ike and Tina. Why don't y'all post the Ike and Tina moments y'all have? Come on. Come on in the room. Let's talk about it. Why don't y'all post y'all wait in the exhale moments? Hmm? Come on, Bernadine. Come on. Why don't you post when you set that man car on fire? Why don't you post when Troy, when you threw that Troy from up that balcony? Why don't we talk about that? Why don't we post all of that? It's because we look at God as the wrong way. We don't look at him as our landlord, as the person that owns us, as we are his property. We don't look at him like that. We know what we look at him as: a genie, a fairy godparent, a wish master. I wish these things will happen, and that's it. That's if you don't have to put in any work. Let me give you a news flash. If you've been praying on something for a long time and it haven't changed, it's probably because there's something in you that you just never caught on to yet that you need to change. There is something right now. I know somebody's watching this right now. You literally right now are so close to what you want, but you can't get it because there's an old habit that's keeping you from a new decision. It's an old habit that you got to break. And that habit really came about over pain from your past, because it was a habit that you picked up along the way to really counteract the pain that you felt from something that you didn't think nobody would understand. All right, listen, I'm gonna go there. People may not look, and I apologize, but I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. If you were molested as a kid, that's probably the only reason why you smoking weed. That's probably the only reason why you smoking weed. You were abused as a child. That's the only reason why you are literally sleeping around right now like you crazy. You've been picked on. You've been bullied as a child. It's the reason why you have anger issues right now. You've never been supported in your life like your other siblings have, and that's the reason why you're a loner. That's the reason why you're an introvert. You're not introverted. That's not even you. Because let me give you a news flash for all you individuals that say you're introverted. If you say that you're introverted and you go around people and people just so happen to draw to you and they like you, you're not introverted at all. You're really not. You're far from it. You're far from being introverted. That's just a defense mechanism that you picked up along the way because of the pain that you felt over the past years. That's where loneliness come from. That's where suicide come from. It's because of the pain that you've experienced over all of these years. Why? Because you were in a place, and when you were in that place, you did not understand that all you had to do was change your decision making and trust your landlord. Trust your spiritual landlord. Trust your father. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why things are going the way that they're going in your life. That's the reason why things are going the way that they're going in your life. That's the reason why things are shifting the way that they're shifting in your life. That's the reason why. Oh my goodness. Mwah, blew your kiss. There you go, baby. Blew your kiss on live. So, what place do you hold? Are you in the right place with your landlord? What do you hold on to right now, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, right now, that's keeping you from going to that next level? What are you doing right now? That's the reason why you're in the same situation that you're in. I'm gonna say this too. I'm gonna go over it a little bit deeper because this is more spiritual than you think. A lot of you right now, you have sicknesses in your body because you just don't trust your landlord. You're thinking right now that if you smoke it away, if you drink it away, if you take all of this medicine, it's going to help. No, a lot of that is really generational. A lot of it is really an attack on your bloodline because you are the person that's supposed to carry out the vision for your family, but the enemy don't want you to do it. So what he does, he brings on, oh, your daddy died of cancer. Oh, your mama died of cancer. So you're falling in that same trap. Oh, there's an obesity thing in your family. Oh, there's high blood pressure. Oh, there's sickle cell. Oh, there are diabetes. There are all of these different. There's leukemia, right? There's lupus, all of these different things. The stuff is really spiritual than you think it is physical. That's the reason why, oh, here it comes. That's the reason why when you go to the doctor, all of your vital signs are okay. Have you ever noticed that when you're sick, you feel the pain, but the moment you head to the hospital, all of a sudden you just feel okay? What's your pain on the 1 to 10, 10 being the worst? You gotta lie. It's like a 7. It's like 8.5. No, it's not. It's a 2 or a 3. Let's keep it real. It's a 2 or a 3. However, here's the thing. Luke, one of the disciples, was a physician. So nurses and doctors are here for a reason, right? Hospitals are here for a reason. It is to treat the sick. However, Jesus healed the sick. So what I'm saying to you is this: you have a choice on who you want your landlord to be daily. You have a choice. So now that we talked about the place, let's go a little bit deeper. The second part, let's talk about position. Yes, sir. Let's talk about position. So the second word of the definition of the word location is position. Let me ask you this. Are you ready to shift when it's time to shift? Are you ready to shift positions? When we're playing chess and God plays chess, not checkers, I learned this years ago. Are you ready for him to change your position? Are you ready for him to move you? Are you ready for him to move you and you do not question what you need to do? You do not question him on anything that needs to happen or what you need to do. Let me help you understand this. And I had to learn this, Laura. And I'm telling you, again, it is a battle, it is a struggle. But if you get this, you will never have any issues moving forward. And it's a constant practice. And I pray that a lot of you practice this. Here you go. Here you go. What if I told you it's not the people that's in your life that's causing all of this turmoil, all of this destruction, all of that? Because a lot of people are so quick to say, oh man, it's the people, you got to change your circle up, get the squares out your circle. There was a whole song about that, right? Get the squares out your circle and blah, 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 blah. No, it's not. Mm-mm. No, it's not. It's not even the people. It's really that you're in the wrong position. And because you're in the wrong position, it's what's causing people to hate. Yeah, it's what's causing people to hate. You don't get the position while being out of position. You don't get the position while being out of position. That's not how it works. See, a lot of you want positions like titles and supervisors and managers and CEOs and CFOs and all this other stuff. You don't get the position while being out of position. It doesn't work that way. You got to be in position in order for you to get into the right position. And two, a lot of you right now, the reason why you're getting so much hate is because when you get into position, you really, really don't understand that the position is not about you. It is about the people that is designed to be under you when you get in position. That's what it's about. That's why a lot of you can't get promotions because it's going to go right to your top. It's going to go right to your head. You're going to lose yourself. That's the reason why a lot of you don't ever go past a certain bracket when it comes to your income because it's going to go right to your top. It's going to go right to your head and you can't handle it. Matter of fact, it will hurt you more than it will help you. Yeah, I know. I know it's going to hurt you more than it's going to help you because of the positioning that your brain is in. A lot of you, your brains are not positioned correctly in order for you to receive what God has for you. Your mindset is not positioned correctly. Some of you, your emotions is not positioned correctly. Sis, the reason why hubby ain't here yet, let me drink some water real quick. The reason why Bay not here, husband not here yet, let me tell you why, sis. I'm gonna just be real with you. Maybe it's because your emotions is not in the right position just yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's really not. Because what I've learned from my pastor this Sunday is wives are helpmates, right? How can you be a helpmate if your husband already got it figured out and he don't need no help? So when you're saying make me a wife, what you're saying is send me a man that needs some help. And ask yourself, are you ready to help a man get to the next level? What culture told you is get you a man. He got six figures. He got. No, that's not true. No, because he can do all of that and he can still knock you upside your head. He can still cheat on you. He can still lie to you. He can still use you. He can still take you away from your family. He can separate you. He can be the most narcissistic man in the world. He can. He can really do that. But you got to ask yourself, are you ready to help that man get to the next level? Fellas, the reason why you can't find wifey yet is because you aren't mentally in position yet. You don't even know how to handle her emotions. You can't even handle your own emotions. Are you in the right mental position? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, the women have leveled up these days. They're not with you for your money. You know what they are? You know what I've heard and really have studied recently is that when it comes to providing, women don't need you to provide for them financially no more. They need you to provide for them emotionally, physically, emotionally. Your presence is the real present. Yeah. Your presence, PRE is it? Your presence is the real present. Is the real present. You have to learn that. Women sometimes don't even care about how much money you make. You know what they want to know? When I'm going through something emotionally, because my job is telling me to be masculine because I have this high position and I'm leading all these people at my different jobs. When I want to come home and be soft and feminine, but I'm still mad because of what this chick said to me at work. And what I've learned is that people will try you virtually now. People will put on their big boy pants and try you virtually as if they would do it if you face to face now. This is crazy. But what they want to know is, are you there for me emotionally when I need you? Can you emotionally be there for me when it not only when it's that time of the month, right? But when the kids are driving me crazy, when I gotta feed them and then I gotta feed you and then I gotta clean and then I gotta cook and then I gotta do all these other different things in the way. Can you be there emotionally? I'm not asking you to do my duties or what I'm called to do as a wife. I'm asking you is that are you emotionally available right now? Because at the end of the day, those emotions is what keep you in position. That's going to eventually come falling down real fast. And if you're not there for her, she's going to crack. It's going to turn into two rams butting heads all the time. That's the reason why. That's the reason why. So are you in the right position? You don't get the position while being out of position. So are you in the right position? When God calls you, are you ready for it? Are you in the right position? Are you, sis? When hubby come, are you ready for him when he comes? Because if you're not ready, you're going to turn him into a counterfeit, and the whole time he was the right fit. Are you ready? Bro, are you ready for the right business opportunity to hit you? Because if you're not ready for the right business opportunity, no more opportunities are going to come showing up at your front door anymore. Opportunity never comes dressed in workman's clothes, which means it would never come like how they expected the Messiah to come. Based on Isaiah and all of the previous prophets, the way that they described the Christ, the Son of the Living God, it wasn't a Jewish kid. It wasn't skin of bronze, hair like sheep's wool from Nazareth. Nazareth was the hood and the ghetto. For all of you from my city, from my Palousas, y'all know what side of town I'm talking about. Well, there's a lot of side of towns, but you know what I mean. Like it was from the slums. They say, can anything good come out of Nazareth? You from what? What? But ain't it crazy? Ain't it crazy? Like that's what people tell you today. Can anything good come from you because you black? Can anything come good from you because you a woman? Can anything come from good from you because you a man? Can anything come good for you? Come good from you because you Hispanic? Because you're Latino? Because you're Jewish? Because of all of these different ceilings that people try to put over you. People do this every single day. And we fall right into it. But why? Because we're not in position. Are you in position spiritually? Oh, here it comes. Stop burning that sage, man. Listen, I'm going to tell you why. You're not cleansing anything. That's not a cleansing thing. That's a heart thing. That's you. Ask yourself, why are those demons there in the first place? If they're there, it's because of you. It's not because of nobody else but you. You are responsible for your own stuff. You can't blame nobody else for your own stuff other than, let me clear this up, other than generational things. That's different. Some of these things, you act just like your mom, or you act just like your dad, or you're a combination of both. You can't control that. You can work on it as an adult, but all these other extra things that you're trying to do, you're trying to get to a level spiritually that you only can get through Christ. You can't get it nowhere else. You can try it, but eventually it looks good on the front end. You know why? Because it's accepting now. It's what social media and culture accepts you to do. But when you turn that phone off, when those cameras go off, when these ring lights go off, and you can't sleep at 2, 3 in the morning, and you having nightmares, you can't burn sage to take that away, sis. My brother, you can't burn it away. It doesn't work. You gotta go to God. That's the only way. But here's the challenge. Can you throw away your old ideas of what you learned from years ago? Can you throw away your old ideas of what you heard in church when you was a kid because the pastor was religious and didn't have a relationship? That's not your fault. You can't blame him. You know who you really got to blame? The people that raised you. And sometimes it's not even their fault because they didn't even know. They just did what they were even told. They didn't know anything different. But now, guess what? We're in a new age. We're in a new life, right? We literally can change things. We can change the way that things are with us. We have the internet now. We have Google now. We can research things now. We don't have to fall subject to this. There's no reason why you can't learn anything about anything in the Bible because we got the internet now. You can research it. It's right there in your face. Back in the day, it was a little harder, but now it's easy. If you can look up all this other crazy stuff, look up for ways to change your life. Last but not least, situation. Ain't it crazy how the word location has place, position, and situation all in at the same time? Isn't that crazy? But situation, sit. Oh man, it's bad. Situation, sit. Are you sitting or are you standing? Sitting, standing in the same category. But let me ask you this: are you sitting steady when God is calling you, or are you running? really do. You're not even supposed to be in this industry. God called you to do something else, but because it's popular, you want to do it. Really? I'm gonna tell y'all right now. If I had a choice not to do what I do every single week, me personally, me personally, I'm not breaking up right now. This is how I know it's good because the enemy know I'm about to say this is good. It's all good. I'm breaking up. It's all good. Here's how I know that I am doing what God is calling me to do. Because in the early stages, you don't get a lot of support, you don't get a lot of views, you don't get a lot of shares because it's not popular, right? Content creation is the new it is the new era of finances. It's not trending. Well, it is trending, but it is set to make over, I think, $2 to $3 billion by the end of 2022. So content creation is, people making TikToks, reels, and all this other stuff. People taking long videos and chopping them up and doing it. Matter of fact, I did it with my last video, video before last, and I made a reel and it got a lot of hits. So it's gonna always get more hits now because everybody wants stuff short. Everybody acting like they got a short attention span, like they can't sit down and do anything. The reason why your situation is not changing is because you're not sitting, you're running. You're trying to run faster than what God is actually trying to do for you in your life. You're literally missing the location of the delivery because you're running fast instead of sitting there and being patient. I'm not saying be content and don't want change. I'm saying being patient and waiting for you to get ready to move. When it's time for you to move, you're going to move. But until then, just sit there and wait. Just sit there and wait. So here's the definition of situation. It is a decision that determines it is a decision. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. That's not it. It is a reflection of your circumstances based on your decisions. It is a reflection of your circumstances based on your decisions. All this means is this: whom you are around and where do you stand is based upon one thing or two things only. One, your environment, and number two, your influences. That's what your situation is, all in a nutshell. Your situation is a decision. That's all your situation is. It's just decisions that's made in your life. Everything that you're in right now, the job that you have right now, that's because of the decision that you made. The type of toothpaste you use, nobody forced you. You use that because you made the decision to get the toothpaste. The type of gas you put in your vehicle. Listen, just because your car can take unleaded doesn't mean that you can't put medium in it. You can. Nothing will happen with your gas tank. It's going to be better gas. That's all it's going to be. That's it. That's all it's going to be. But medium, great, right? That's all it's going to be. Next, your decision making. The person that you're with, you made that decision. God doesn't send you people to be in a relationship with. You right now are in that relationship because that's what you attracting this because of what you wanted. Because if that's the case, you'll be able to blame God for everything and you can't. If God just matched you with everything. No, it's not the way it works. That's hard to receive for a lot of you, I know, but I had to receive it. I really had to receive it. So a decision determines it. Where do you stand and whom you are around is based on two things. Your decisions are a reflection of your environment and your influences. Have you ever noticed since certain people been in your life, your foundation just been a little bit rocky? Your foundation switches up and it changes just a little bit. You realize that your foundation isn't as lucrative or as fruitful as it should be. It doesn't produce the right things. Have you noticed that you don't even curse because until you hang around certain people and all of a sudden you start cursing? Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that you don't even really smoke? You don't even really drink. You're an occasional drinker, but when you're around this person, you shot. You take a shot. Really? Have you noticed that? Have you noticed how you? And now I'm not saying that some people aren't great influences because they are, but we're not talking about those individuals because we're talking about right now that these individuals right now shift your entire foundation of your life. And so here's what people do. So they finally figure it out, right? And they say to themselves, well, you know what? I don't need nobody. It's just me and God. Man, that's not. I tried that, y'all. It don't work. You can never just be you and God. If that's the case, God would have never said, I will make Adam a helper that is suitable for him. That doesn't make any sense. You need somebody. If Jesus had 12 disciples, what makes you think you don't need anybody? That doesn't make any sense. There is not one company or business or product that we all purchase that doesn't take a group of people to actually produce it, make it, sell it, etc. Everyone needs somebody. You can't do it by yourself. Do not let the enemy make you think that you need to be by yourself because you're in pain of what people did to you. Because that's the oldest trick in the book. And it's so easy to fall to it. But sometimes it feel like it's hard to get out of it, right? No, it's not as hard as you think it is. Here's where the rubber meets the road. You have to practice this one F word that a lot of people don't like to use, but they use the other one. You know what it's called? Forgiveness. It's hard to practice forgiveness when you feel this pain and this emotional place and state that you're not in, because you feel that if I forgive them, they're still going to do the same thing and hurt me over again. Fool me once, fine. Fool me twice, okay. Fool me a third time, then that's just on me, right? Nah. Jesus said, if I forgive them, it's 70 times 7. That's crazy. That's a level of forgiveness that even me personally, I have to practice because it's hard to want to forgive people, even though they've done you wrong. And now ask yourself this question. Have you ever done somebody else wrong? I'm pretty sure you have. We all have. We all have our dirt. We all have our sins. We all fall short. We all do things that we're not proud and not happy of. And yet and still, we still do it and we still carry on. So stop thinking that you got to be alone. It's a part of the process that people do these things and put you in different situations. It's a part of the process. Let me help you understand something. When you cut people off, you know what you cut off? You cut off the lessons and you cut off the blessings. The lessons and the blessings doesn't make you lesser than who you are, right? The lessons and the blessings is a reflection of the maturity that you have on the inside. There are a lot of companies right now that have a lot of people that do snake stuff every day. There are a lot of businesses that have those same individuals that do snake stuff every single day. And have you noticed those individuals never get fired? They never, ever, ever, ever get fired because God placed them there to mold you so you can get to the next level. But sometimes we don't have the maturity to deal with it. We don't. That's the challenge. That's the hard part, to know that this person here is purposefully trying to do things to get you fired. And yet and still, you don't crack. You're still there every single day. You show up and you show out daily. You show up and you show out. That takes a level of maturity that a lot of us just haven't grown into yet. And that's nothing to be ashamed of. Work on it. Do it now. Because when you're aware of it, you can make the change. But when you're unaware of it, you're gonna still be in the same situation. The same situation. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give you these 3 points, and I'm gonna go ahead and close out. Right. All right. Now the question is how do I understand the location that I'm in? How do I understand where I'm going in life and the location that I'm in and where I'm headed? Right. Here's the first thing. Point number 1. You cannot be afraid to relocate. You cannot be afraid to relocate. Some of you right now, you're stuck and you're not moving because you just haven't relocated. You cannot be afraid to relocate. You got to move away from your circumstances and start a new life. Right? That's what you got to do sometimes. Take it from a person that moved to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different states. When I left Louisiana, I never came back, ever. I moved 5. That was the journey that God took me on. Alabama, Florida, New Jersey, Georgia, and now in Texas. 5 different states. God may move me again. Who knows? I may move overseas. Who knows? I may be international at this point. You never know. That's a vision of mine. But at the end of the day, you cannot be afraid to relocate. You cannot be afraid to change the place that you're in mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You cannot be afraid to change the position that you're in, which means is you can't get the position with you being out of position at the same time. You cannot be afraid to change your situation, i.e., your decisions, because your environment and your influences really count on that. Or should I say your decisions count on your environment and your influences, which way you choose to live. But I will say this, do not let your environment and your influences affect your decision. But we grew up in that. Why? Because we are a product of our environment and we are what creatures of habit. That's a statement that we make as human beings. We got to switch that up. We got to change that. So that's point number 1. You can't be afraid to relocate. Relocation is prominent to you understanding the location in your life when it comes to you having a spiritual landlord. Point number 2, stop blaming your landlord for your own choices. Mm-mm-mm. Wow. Stop blaming God for where you at when it's really you. Nobody forced you to do that. You did that. Nobody told you to go get that car and put yourself in debt. You know good and well you can't afford five, six, seven, $800 a month for a car note. But you did it because so people can look at you and say, "Ooh, look what I'm driving, look what I'm riding." Ooh, right? You put yourself in debt to look good when those same people don't even know your financial situation. They don't even know what goes into your bank account every other week or every week and a half. They don't know that. They don't know none of this stuff, but you made a decision based off of that. And for all of you right now, and I want to speak to you right now as an entrepreneur, if your business is not flourishing the way that you think it is, don't think you made a wrong choice because you don't have the results that you feel you have now. Don't quit the vision of being an entrepreneur when that's what you had in the beginning. It just takes a little bit longer. It takes longer because your results will not come in 2 weeks like how a paycheck comes. It won't. It's going to come gradually. One day it's going to be 400. Next day it's going to be 100. Next day it's going to be $50. Next day it's going to be 5,000. Next day it's going to be 6 grand. Like it comes like that, right? But it's all based upon your work ethic and your faith and how you treat people. Those three things. So stop blaming your landlord for your wrong choices. You chose to put yourself in that situation. That's hard to receive. I know it hurts to say, "Dang, is this really my fault?" Yeah, bro, it really is. Yes, this is really your fault. And that's okay because guess what? If it goes well, it's still your fault, right? It's still your fault. It's still your fault that things are going the way that they are going. Last but not least, the right point number three, the right situation slash decision is a pure reflection of how you change your position, which will put you in the right place. Again, the right situation slash decision will ultimately change your position and put you in the right place. Your right situation slash decision. When you make the right decision, your position automatically switches up and it changes. Automatically. Automatically. When you make the right decision, your position changes. And when your position changes, guess what happens? You literally get put into the right place. You get put right into the right place. And that's all you got to do. Change your decision, which will help you change your position, and you'll automatically put into the right place. Don't think for 1 second you can try to just change your position to try to move on and do something different, and then you're gonna be in the right place and your decision making is still the same. Nah. That's why you're still finding yourself in the same situation no matter where you go, because your decisions haven't changed. You got to learn how to change your decisions every time. And I'm telling you right now, this is the part that people don't talk about, even when it comes to relationships. I'm not a relationship expert or guru or none of that. But one thing that I did learn is this: when you make the decisions in your life when it comes to someone else that you're in a relationship with, it is a pure reflection of how your position is with that person and the place that you're in currently because of the decisions that you make. You got to make the right decisions, even when the decisions may not even be in your favor. It's not about, as some people say, give and take. No, it's not about none of that. What it's really about is are you willing to make the right decision for a situation currently that will benefit you both in the long run, but you don't see it yet? That's faith. This is the part again that people don't talk about. People want to post the glamour and the glitz and all that stuff. Some people just want to post their drama and their problems, whatever. But you know what people don't post? They don't post the process at all. And that's the reason why entrepreneurship looks attractive. So because people always post their results. They always post the good stuff. Post when you ain't make no money. Post that part. Post when you lost money. People don't want to talk about that. You will take L's in business. But the question is are you too comfortable enough to not take the L's? Or you're more so just afraid of what people are going to think about you because you took L's? Which one is it? Either way it go, guess what? You're still taking the L. But the L is not a loss, it's a lesson. And a lot of the lessons that you learn, I ain't gonna say a lot, every lesson that you learn is gonna turn into a blessing. It's just the time in between and when it's gonna happen. But you got to see that thing all the way through. You got to see it all the way through to the end. Yeah, it sucks. It's gonna hurt. I'm gonna tell you like this: a band-aid can't help this cut. You're gonna bleed right through that band-aid. You're gonna bleed right through them bandages. Stitches not gonna help it. Help it. You can't stitch it either. You can't. It's gonna have to run its course, just like COVID. You can't heal COVID faster. It's gonna run its freaking course. You can't heal the flu. It gotta run its course. And based on your body, right, is determine how long this disease or dis-ease, as people call it, right, stays in you. That determines it, man. So you got to ask yourself, are you ready for that? How do you get ready? Again, you can't be afraid to relocate. You got to stop blaming your landlord. You got to stop blaming God for your wrong choices. And more importantly, stop blaming yourself. Stop blaming yourself for your own choices. Yeah, you messed up. Yeah, you did dirt. Yeah, you did. But nobody's condemning you. Nobody's standing over your shoulder when you brush your teeth, when you're in the shower, or when you take a bath, or when you're working out. Nobody's saying it's your fault. It's your fault. Nobody's doing it to you all day long. You're doing it to yourself all day long. You're doing it. You're telling yourself every day, all day, it's my fault. It's my fault. It's my. I did it. I did. We know. I know you did it, bro. Sis, like it's cool. Heal from it. Get better. Pray on it. Move to another level. Stop letting the enemy do that to you, man. You will kill yourself faster than anything else in this world. The stress from that is going to kill you even faster. It will. So, and last but not least, the right situation or the right decision will change your position and will put you in the right place. That's it. So that's my time, y'all. If you're watching this video, share this video. And one of the things I want to hit y'all with is this. If for some reason you're watching this video, you got inspired and you say, hey, I want to give my life to Christ. I don't want to be in the same situation that I'm in right now. I want to change. I want to move to another level. I want to move to a different circumstance. Shoot me a DM and we'll talk. I could connect you with the right folks, especially if you're in the Houston area. I could connect you with the right church. You'll be good to go. You'll get fed, right? Next, for all of you right now that are inspired and say, hey, listen, I have a job. I love what I do. I'm very, very, very excited about what I do. I love what I do. I don't want to quit it. But I know that I work my job every single day, and this is all I'm going to ever get. I'm not going to get anything more than this because you're not. You're not going to get anything more than what you get paid unless you have the ability to take some of the money that you make and move it to a piece that's going to help you. So right now, I've actually started investing with a platform that's going to give you the opportunity to have a 2 to 5 year financial plan that's going to help you get out of your situation within that time frame. A lot of you right now, you have goals, you have visions, you want to do better and move into another level, but you can't because the job don't allow you to do it. It only lets you get to a certain level. Well, hey, guess what? There is a way. I have found a way. If you literally don't want to quit your job, you don't want to recruit, you don't want to sell, you don't want to make any products or sell any products, you don't want to start an online business, you don't have to do any of those things. Perfect. There is a way for you to do it, ladies and gentlemen. If you want any additional information, shoot me a DM. We can talk and we can move forward from there. Because what I want to do is I want to open up a way and a solution for anyone that's watching this video that literally don't want to be stuck where they are come 2023. I'm so sick and tired of seeing us doing GoFundMe accounts for funerals. We're sitting up here struggling. A lot of men, I say a lot of men lead in suicide, they lead in depression, they lead in a lot of different things that comes to self-hurt because of finances, and we don't know how to put ourselves into a better situation. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have a good bait for you guys, and you do not have to quit your day job. You can still keep your job. You can still do it. You can still do what you love to do every single day, even if you don't love it, but that's just what you're good at. You can still do it and nothing changes. You could be in the military, you could be anywhere, right? And you can still make this thing work. All right, so that's my time. If you are interested, just shoot me a DM. We'll talk. It's your boy Future P. I'm out. Share this video. If you caught this video at the end, just rewind that bad boy to the beginning, and you will be blessed. But this is the season finale of Spiritual Landlord. Right next week, we are starting a new series. It is called the Judicial System. The Judicial System. You do not want to miss it. It's going to be dope. We're going to really talk about the systems that are designed to keep us downtrodden and stuck where we are when God has a whole nother system created for us to move to the next level. So it's your boy Future P. I'm out. Peace. See you on the other side.